Naomba tafadhali Nita kwaya muwe tayari, na pia Kayamba Africa muwe tayari. But before that, tumkaribishe makofi tafadhali, Chief Technical Advisor, International Labour Organization. Welcome.
All protocol observed. Good afternoon. What a great day this is for the people of Kenya. The recognition of prior learning, the launch of the recognition of prior learning policy is symbolic and further affirms the country's and social partners' commitment to improve the quality of Kenya's workforce in a most inclusive way. The International Labour Organization is the United Nations Agency for the World of Work. It brings together governments, workers, and employer organizations in setting the normative standards for the world of work, underpinned on the principles of social justice, that everyone, no matter where they are born, have a fair chance at life. And you would agree with me that this is embodied in RPL. Having recently marked 100 years of existence, the ILO's vision looking forward is not surprisingly one of an inclusive, human-centered future of work as espoused in the Centenary Declaration, which recommends, among other things, an entitlement to lifelong learning, and many speakers before me alluded to that. This, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, contributes towards achieving Agenda 2030 and Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, which aspires for a prosperous Africa based on inclusive growth and sustainable development. The third generation of the Decent Work Country Program, the framework for ILO's engagement, commits to support all member states and social partners to pursue SDG Goal 4, that is inclusive and equitable quality education, and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all, alongside Goal 8, which is decent work and economic growth, both of which call for member states to invest in quality training that is inclusive and responsive to the dynamic needs of the market for improved employment prospects. The ILO Global Commission on the Future of Work released a report with 10-point recommendations to attain a future of decent work. One of those recommendations is a universal entitlement, skill, reskill, and upskill that can facilitate upskilling amongst workers. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in December 2019, the ILO's 14th Africa Regional Meeting concluded with the adoption of the Abidjan Declaration, which calls for investments in decent jobs, the institutions of work, and sustainable future of work in Africa to enable people to benefit from the opportunities of the changing world of work. ILO Convention 142 and Recommendation number 195 on human resources development, education, training, and lifelong learning calls on member states to establish a framework for the recognition and certification of skills, including prior learning and previous experience, irrespective of the countries where these were acquired and whether formally or informally. And that's why we've had speakers before me mention refugees, migrants, those that have gained experiences in their countries of origin. RPL, ladies and gentlemen, facilitates mobility of workers, access to better jobs. And I think Akinyi spoke to that, her former employees are now owners of economic units. Opportunity for lifelong learning and better training prospects, and that was alluded to by the Commission for University Education. RPL also is a powerful tool through which workers in the informal economy can gradually move to the formal economy and benefit from more decent jobs as they acquire certification, proving their competencies and knowledge. The ILO has provided technical assistance to the government of Kenya in developing the policy, frameworks, and implementation guidelines, including the integration of RPL principles into national education and training policies. To ensure inclusive access and participation in the RPL system through ILO technical support, integrated and comprehensive policy actions were taken with special attention to disadvantaged groups, including women, young people, migrants, and refugees, to ensure that no one is left behind. Through action-oriented trainings, the ILO continues to assist in building the capacity of the National Advisory Councils, National Implementation Committee, RPL practitioners, relevant stakeholders such as government agencies, employers, and trade unions to implement recognition of prior learning programs effectively. This involves training programs, workshops, etc., aimed at enhancing understanding and skills in RPL assessment, validation, and certification. Kenya being a country that is digital, and for better governance of RPL, the ILO has further provided technical and financial support towards the development of the RPL integrated management system, infrastructure setup, training programs, and implementation of the IMS to strengthen data analytics, digitize skills recognition processes, and certification mechanisms in Kenya. To ensure that the RPL offering is continually improving and responsive to the practices and experiences from other countries, which can inform the design and implementation of RPL programs in Kenya. We will continue to support knowledge sharing and networking among countries and stakeholders engaged in RPL. As the policy development ensued, a pilot rollout was supported across 7 counties in various priority sector skills. And the ILO supported 350 candidates from various counties, with some of those graduating today, and we celebrate you. This ensured that critical feedback on implementation was plowed back to improve the policy. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to ensure RPL assessment and certification processes are meaningful and lead to greater labor market outcomes for the candidates, the ILO is supporting the identification and assessment of occupations in key economic sectors that are ready for RPL. This entails a systematic assessment of the key sectors for the development of occupational standards, especially where none exist in formal institutions. A sustainable financing mechanism is critical for successful RPL implementation. The ILO has assisted in determining differentiated unit cost for assessment to ensure that there is an adequate, predictable, and sustainable costing, financing, and revenue sharing mechanism in order to guarantee an effective RPL system in Kenya. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are truly delighted to be a partner in Kenya's RPL journey and commit our continued support towards its rollout to all sectors where it is needed for the benefit of the economy, the workers, and economic units that drive it. Asanteni sana.